Hi, my name is J Kesin, and you are about to watch an interview which is about my current show called Eyes Between Worlds, and that is on at the beautiful Bloom Gallery in Valencia. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Your exhibition spans animals as gods, pets, food, entertainment, and in extinction. How did you arrive at this framework and what connects these categories for you?
What I wanted to show in the exhibition is how our relationships with animals can change over time and with concept. So, for example, we have love for our pets. We used to worship gods, you still do in some religions and cultures. Well, we eat animals, and we might be sad about extinction. So what I think all this has in common is that we usually define animals in relation to ourselves rather than looking at them as individual beings in their own right.
I guess that's what makes the Anima series the centre of this exhibition.
Yes, absolutely. The Anima is a new abstract series that I've done especially for the exhibition, and it's trying to show, well, how I think animals might perceive their surroundings and sort of the worlds we create around them.
Okay, so you brought in ceramics as part of the exhibition.
Hmm.
What drew you to this medium for exploring human-animal relationships?
Okay, yes, Anima has been extended into ceramics, and these ceramics are also a bridge to the other abstract series of the exhibition, which is called Future Relics. And so, well, ceramics are more durable and sort of have a timeless feel. So the idea that in a distant future these works might be unearthed by the people of the future was interesting to me, and it sort of closes the cycle or the circle between past and present and an imagined future.
Yes. Some works in the show are abstract, while others are figurative. How did you decide on that?
Well, I briefly thought about making everything abstract, because I usually work only with abstracts, but I thought for the concept it would make more sense to go into the figurative world. So I made a clear divide between the two. The more speculative works are abstract because we can't really know what the future looks like, and we can't really know what animals see or feel or how to visualize that exactly. And the other works are more factual, so they're the pets and they're extinct animals, so they're basically animal portraits.
Okay, yeah. Animals have long been represented as deities and spiritual beings across cultures. How does your work engage with or reinterpret these traditions?
Okay, well, that relates to one particular work in the exhibition, which is a very large unstretched canvas which divides the exhibition space, and it's an abstract which is dominated by two figures. One is more humanoid and one is more animal-like, and they face each other in the work. And well, what I didn't want to portray is any particular myth or story with this work. It's more like a memory of how we used to look at animals for protection or as guides, and also an echo of the power we used to attribute to animals.
That's the one that's called Guardian then.
So yes, it is actually, yes.
What
Very good.
What role does tenderness play in your exploration of animals as companions or pets?
Well, it is possibly the main part of the concept of the exhibition, actually. And again, it's a division between abstract and figurative. The pets and the extinct animals I have portrayed with tenderness. The extinct animals, actually more than the pets, they're sort of very fleeting and almost dissolving, whereas the pets are more there. They look like they've been there sitting for me, for the painter, and they look at the audience. On the other hand, tenderness disappears when we look at the meat processing industry, for example.
So that's in contrast to the works about.
Yes. So that's the future relics. So we're coming to the abstract works, future relics. which basically shows remnants of our relationship with animals today, like cages or meat hooks or egg cartons.
Okay.
But you actually have to, and some of them look for them, they're kind of hidden because the main attribute of these works is the message from the future, supposedly, which are like symbols or script like items that are overlaid. And so they're not tender, but they're also not violent or cruel or anything. And then we have the Anima series. Well, at first sight, you think they might be quite jolly because they are quite, well, there's quite a few bright colors in some of them. But the associations are, of course, a bit more dark because there's like one that's to me about a bullfight, another one might be an animal that's entering a meat processing plant or an abattoir.
Okay. And the Echo series?
That's
the
the extinction. Yeah, that's the most tender work, I think.
Okay. The exhibition also considers animals as entertainment. How do you navigate the tension between spectacle, cruelty, and the viewer's own desire to look?
Well, that relates back to the work I just mentioned about the bullfight.
Yes.
Which is a very charged subject about, well, mixes cruelty, spectacle,
Tradition.
Tradition, of course. So it goes also back to the past in a way. And well, I didn't want to. There's no fixed judgment in the painting, I think, and that's that. But the tension between cruelty, spectacle, and etc. is part of the work. But also because this is the Anima series again, so this is supposed to be from the viewpoint of the animal, so that might be another bull watching this bullfight, and it sees not entertainment for sure, it might see violence or fear, yes, exactly, chaos. Yeah. So I would like it if the viewer would see this duality in the paintings, like their view and our view, rather than just like the spectacle.
Okay. Extinction looms as a global ecological crisis. How does your work position the viewer within this narrative of loss?
Yeah, that's probably the most final theme in the exhibition. Again, I don't have answers, but the viewer is part of the story because we all play our part in how we treat the environment and what happens to the environment. So that's all I can say about that one, really.
Okay. Do you see your works as offering critique, reverence, or something more ambiguous in their treatments of animals?
I think all of them are part of it, but mostly I want the works to be ambiguous. I think I don't want to dictate what viewers might see. So, for example, in the pet series, there's one work which is called The Familiar, which is a cat in a pink jumper looking at us, and well, many people will just say, "Oh, that's a cute thing to look at." Relates back to the, sort of those videos of animals that you might see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And others might say it's an overindulgence, it's not how you should treat animals. And then you might go back to the name, the familiar, and look at the past where a cat might be seen as some magical animal, and then compare that to how it's sitting there on the couch with its jumper on.
Okay, and future relics?
Future relics, I think, is also ambiguous because, I mean, it's clearly a critique because it's about meat processing and the meat industry. But that's my point of view. It's not actually seen in the works themselves because they don't show any cruelty. They just show these remnants like cages and stuff.
Okay. The work, working with ceramics, its fragility, permanence, and tactile qualities, has that changed the way you think about animals and their place in human society?
I wouldn't say it's changed it, but well, it gives it a different dimension because painting a canvas is not, well, it doesn't have a body as such, whereas ceramic is like a tactile thing. It's durable and it's also fragile. So this duality again is interesting because it's fragile like an animal, as an individual, but it's also durable like nature itself and resilient.
Okay. If you imagine the animals themselves encountering this exhibition, what kind of response do you think they'd have?
Oh, well, I hope they would recognize that I tried to give them a voice.
Yes.
And well, I would probably be afraid that they might, or they would see how much harm we have done to them.
Yeah.
Because I have not included all possible relationships between animals and humans. Of course, I mean there's other areas like I don't know, pesticides we spray on them, fur farms, animal testing. So I hope there are no animals feeling excluded that come into the exhibition. But I'd say to them, if they do that, I might in the future maybe do some more artistic exploration of other aspects of
That's
this.
great. Thank you very much for coming in.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.